Hello, everyone, once again. This is Rob, and welcome back to Media Awareness and another album review. Before I continue, however, a quick reminder that the fundraiser continues. For those of you unaware, I am a disabled individual, and I use a motorized wheelchair slash scooter all day, every day for my independence, and I need your help. My insurance will not cover anything regarding my scooter. It's viewed as a quote luxury item end quote. And due to that fact, I really need your assistance in supplying the replacement parts for my scooter, as they are pricey to say the least. There is a spot fund account linked below in two places, directly below the description title itself in the description, as well as a separate section below that. And if you could be so kind as to do what you can, it would be greatly appreciated. I do want to extend a really quick, gracious thanks to those who have contributed thus far. You guys really have made a world of difference in my life. And the same is true for those who plan on contributing. You guys are great, and I love you all. You're wonderful people. Thank you so much, and thank you for watching my channel and clicking on my videos. So, we have a new album from Neal Morse. Neal Morse, of course, the founding member of Spock's Beard, the progressive rock band from the 1990s, who has continued on uh, uh, following Neal's departure in roughly 2002. And Neal, when he departed Spock's Beard, he embarked on a solo career in the Christian rock field, progressive Christian rock, I should say. Um, and he has done a multitude of albums on his own in that particular genre, Christian progressive rock. He has also been involved with Transatlantic, the band, and also bands such as Flying Colors and the Neal Morse band, and that's only a small portion of what he's done. Neal has been incredible in the music scene. He is a multi instrumentalist and an incredible singer songwriter. So, when part one of this two-part saga was announced, I was excited. Um, and like I said, this is Christian progressive rock. So if that's not your thing, uh, still I would give it a shot because it is really well done music. And if you can appreciate good music, you can appreciate this. Part one, of course, is The Dreamer, Joseph Part one, and Part two is Joseph Part two, The Restoration. And it was just apparently released a few days ago. However, as you can see, I'm not holding that in my hand. I'm holding the Dreamer because, as usual, I did not receive a copy of the restoration yet. In fact, on Amazon.com, it is listed as being released on January 26th of 2024. So it hasn't been released yet, according to Amazon, yet it's available on Spotify to stream, and perhaps via Neal's Inner Circle fan club. I don't know, but all I know is I do not have it in hand to show you, so I apologize, and it annoys me that I'm missing part two of a two-part saga, but hopefully I will have that rectified relatively soon. With that being said, I did listen to the album on Spotify so that I could bring you this review. And I am extremely pleased to bring you this review. Uh, the Dreamer, I gave my review of that, I believe, the day of its release as well, as I still didn't have the physical copy when I did my initial review, I think. And part two, the restoration, is really uh, like a step up from the Dreamer Part One. I almost wish that these albums would have been bundled as a two CD set. I would have really worked in the album's favor to be done in that manner because the Dreamer is good. Don't get me wrong, but the restoration is just phenomenal, and you really need both. You can't just listen to one and not the other. Well, you could, but you're missing out on a good portion of the story, as it is a concept album, following as part two of The Dreamer, which was a concept album based on the life of Joseph. So, this part two, the restoration, is just powerful. Oh my god. Um, the album itself really, really has a lot going for it. We have a lot of members, musicians that Neal has worked with in the past, such as his brother Alan Morse from Spock's Beard as well. And in addition to Ted Leonard of Spock's Beard, Enchant, and various other projects such as um, Panic, Pattern, Pattern Seeking Animals, which is Ted's most recent project on his own, uh, with some ex members of Spock's Spirit as well. But Ted is on this album singing really angelically. I mean, his voice is powerful on this album. And I was just blown away by some of Ted's vocals and just how into it he was on this album. Also, on this particular album, Ross Jennings is featured, as well as Eric Gillette of the Neal Morse Band, and Bill Hubert, also of the Neal Morse Band, and they're just all in top form on this album, really giving it their all. And I did reactions to two of the singles from this album, Cosmic Mess and I Hate My Brother, But I Love My God. And they are both amazing singles, amazing songs. I do want to give you guys a quick highlight of some other songs that stood out to me, despite the fact you should really listen to the whole album as a cohesive piece back to back with The Dreamer, given that it is a concept album and it does tell a story. But the songs that really moved me and stood out for me are All Hail, which is in the first half of the album, and then following the reprise of the overture from part one, we have a track that comes a few songs after that called Freedom Road, and this song actually had me in tears. I was really just sitting here weeping at just how intense and beautiful it was. And then the final track on the album, Dawn of a New Day, and just amazing stuff. And Dawn of a New Day closes out the album, and the song actually fades out in this really epic manner. And I actually really enjoy the fade. I think it really works for this album works for that particular song. I've gotten a little burned out on epic songs ending on an epic note, if that makes sense. Just kind of building to this climax and really kind of going over the top. And I personally feel that fading out is a lost art, and it's coming back to some degree. And typically, I highlight when this is the case, and sometimes I forget to. But in this case, I did want to make a point of that. It actually really worked for me, and it was a highlight for me on this particular album. And there aren't any bad songs on this album at all. It's just masterful from beginning to end. Now, as I said, it's not for everyone. If you are into short form, 3 minute long pop songs, this is not going to be for you. However, Neal Morse is also an incredible songwriter who can craft incredibly written pop songs. So, some of these songs are pretty catchy and they will get stuck in your head. So, with that stated, this is definitely an album that I really, really think highly of. And when it is available, even though it is available, I hope to have it. This is confusing for me because, like I said, it wasn't scheduled for release on Amazon until January 26th, 2024, which hasn't even occurred yet, and it's out. So I I missed the actual drop of this a few days ago, and I apologize for not having that review out that day because I forgotten it was coming out on that day and thought it was later in the month. But apparently, it's out in some form or another, or several. I don't know. So, yeah, uh, I'm rather jealous of anyone who has the CD for Neal Morris, The Restoration, Joseph Part 2 in their hands because I don't. And it's frustrating because I have in my hand at the moment The Dreamer, Joseph Part 1, which is a phenomenal opening piece to this two-part saga. But the icing on the cake is the second half. And to have one and not the other is just annoying. But once you're able to listen to the both, you'll know why it's that way. They both really gel as a story, and I think this is some of Neal's best solo work to date. Um, as I say, he has been active with other projects, Transatlantic, Flying Colors, the Neal Morris Band. However, his solo work under his primary Neal Morris name is typically Christian related and it's typically Christian progressive rock. Not always, but typically. So, that being said, these albums are definitely worth looking at and listening to, and they are available, as I said, on Spotify. You can probably find them on other streaming services as well. However, I really recommend checking them out. This is one of the best albums I've heard in a while, and being that it is the first real release I'm covering of 2024, I am really proud and pleased to bring this release to you guys as my first album review of the year, as it really is just a phenomenal album and a great closure to a two-part saga. So check out Neal Morris, The Dreamer, Joseph Part 1, and I will show it once again since I have it right here. This is The Dreamer, Joseph Part 1, and also check out Joseph Part 2, The Restoration. picture, of course, I stole from the internet because I don't have the album in hand. But I do hope that you enjoyed this review and that this was enlightening to some degree. Like I said, you have some amazing musicians on this album, really giving it their all, and just an incredible performance from everyone involved. Neal is a particularly intense on all of this album. Really heartfelt and just, uh, like I said, it had me in tears at points. And I, I was very, very pleased and very, very impressed. So check it out and let me know your thoughts in the comment section below if you do so. Also, please, once again, reminder the fundraiser continues. Please do what you can. The Spot Fund account is linked below in two places, and any all help is welcome. I will see you all again soon. Have a wonderful morning, noon, or night, wherever you are. Take care. Bye.